Hi guys, Toni here from Toni Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at removing the cap and replacing it with the TEC X Pipe. Okay, so in this video I'm not going to do an installation, I'm not going to show you how to do it. I will put some links to the TEC website where if you're going to buy the TEC X Pipe or even the Motone one or any aftermarket one, it'll give you a good idea of what you need to do in order to remove the catalytic converter and put the X Pipe in its place. I'll just talk from the user's point of view, from my experience of buying the X Pipe, removing the catalytic converter and replacing it, whether or not I think it's worth it. So the 4 reasons why you might want to remove your catalytic converter and exchange it for an X Pipe are these. 1. Fueling. 2. Weight saving. 3. Performance. And 4. The sound. Okay, so reason number 1, fueling. Have I noticed a difference in fuel consumption? Well, the answer to that is no, I haven't. I've done about 1,000 miles since I swapped out the cap for the X Pipe. I've ridden on my own and with pillions and with luggage and all that sort of stuff. And overall, I have not seen a difference in consumption of fuel. The other thing to mention on that is I also have not had the ECU remapped, which you can do if you're going to install the X Pipe, because obviously you're changing the flow of things, and fuel consumption seems to be around about the same. Okay, point number 2, which is the weight. Yes, there is an undeniable difference when you put them both on the scale side by side. The original catalytic converter weighs 2.7 kilos or thereabouts, and the new X Pipe from TEC weighs about 0.7 kilograms. Yes, there is that weight difference, but does it actually make a difference? Well, in the overall weight of a motorcycle, the 2 kilos, no, you're not going to notice. Unless you are planning on racing your bike around the track and you want the best times possible and the lightest bike possible, you are not going to really notice that 2 kilo difference. Maybe it has an effect overall on the fuel consumption, i.e. being lighter, but then there are so many other factors that are going to influence your consumption, whether it be the overall weight, as in your pillion, what you're carrying in terms of luggage, your tyre pressures, your tyres, you know, the wind conditions, all of those things are all going to play a part. And so 2 kilograms of weight you're not going to notice on the bike. Okay, point number 3, performance. So when you look on various forums and on the TEC website and even other companies like Motone Customs and stuff like that, they claim that you'll get a better gas flow, more torque, which the cap restricts some of that performance and some of the noise. And so the idea is that you're going to get more better performance out of the bike because it's being restricted by the cap. I looked on the TEC website and I couldn't actually see any statistics. They mentioned that they've done some dyno testing, they've worked with Triumph dealers, but I couldn't actually see any hard facts on the website to this date, which is, you know, June 2020. So it comes really down to the rider experience, and do I feel as though I'm getting more performance from the bike? Well, this is basically what I see. I sort of feel like it's like I remember being a kid and getting a new pair of trainers and running up the road and thinking I can run faster because I've got a new pair of shoes on. And I think it's the same thing with this. It sounds meatier, and so therefore you feel like you're going faster, I think. There is some difference though in terms of its performance, and that is mainly when you're using engine braking. So, you know, you're riding around country lanes and you're using your engine to brake rather than your brakes. You know, you want to change down and sort of throttle out of a bend or whatever. The actual engine braking is less, so you roll faster into the bend. So yeah, your revs, it feels like you're rolling higher than you would usually. It doesn't kick you down as much. So performance, have I got more performance, better performance? For me personally, if there is any additional increased brake horsepower, torque, I couldn't say it was noticeable. It wasn't noticeable. Which leads us to the fourth and final point, which is the sound. Is the sound better? Well, better is a subjective term, and you know, it's one of those things that you either like it or you don't. There is definitely a difference. I would describe the sound on my bike before I changed the cap for an X Pipe. I had the TEC slip-on exhausts with the baffles removed, and I would describe that sound as a growl, but that it had a refined essence to it. So it had that meaty growl, but there was a refinement to that. You know, it wasn't OTT. It was refined. And I'll play you a clip of that. Now, once I removed the X Pipe, the first time I started it up, I was like blown. I was like, oh God. I would describe this sound now. I would say it's raw, it's raspy, it's a deep throaty rumble that really sort of like hits you. It's that type of thing.
Right.
So one of the sort of side things that I wanted to mention about this also is in terms of, is it worth it? The job itself, it takes about 4 or 5 bolts to remove. You know, it's not a big job, it's only a few bolts removal, but it will take you time just because of there are some fiddly elements in there. So price, I think I paid £110, and then with the postage and packaging it came to about £114. The second thing that sort of got me was on the video they mention a lot about the gas flow, and they say about the cheap parts that you can get made abroad, and that you know, it comes from the downpipe straight out and to the back, and they make them like that because it's minimal welds, and you know, it's cheap to make, cheap to manufacture. Whereas these guys have put the time and the effort in, and they've worked with Triumph and dyno people to get the ultimate sort of most torque and performance, and it's all about the gas flow. Well, when I, you know, and they sort of, they do, you know, remark on their welding abilities and how, you know, it's going to help the flow. And the thing that sort of struck me is when I got it out the box and I looked down the tube, and I'll put a little picture up here, and I looked down the tube, I could see a lot of sort of jaggedy sort of overweld, you know, like when it sort of spurts out and where it's joined together, and you've got these like jaggedy mountings on the inside. And I thought, well, if you're claiming that the flow is so important, that smooth flow through these bends with these welds that are machined, then does that have an effect with these jaggedy bits on the insides? I didn't remove them, I didn't attempt to remove them. I've kept them as is, as it comes straight out the box. And TEC do say that they've got a lifetime warranty on that part. So I hope you found this video useful. I hope it's helped you out in some way. I hope it's helping you make your decision on whether or not you should remove your cat and replace it with an X Pipe. Like I said, TEC on their website and on YouTube, they do a really good installation video. Of course, they cut out all the fiddly bits because no one wants to see someone fiddling around for an hour trying to get a little clasp on. But be prepared, you probably will take about 3 to 4 hours if you're anything like me and my dad, with a few little arguments in between. You know, tricky bits to watch out for. Getting the radiator off was a little bit tricky for us, and putting those little clamps back on from the exit pipes, the back pipes, onto the X Pipe, that was a bit tricky. But other than that, it is pretty straightforward. It looks like a big job because you're literally taking the side of the bike apart, taking it away, but you know, it's not as bad as you think. Right, so
you guys really want, and that's to listen and really hear the bike going for it. So I'm out on a ride. I'm about to go on to national speed limit road, although I don't really know the road. So but the idea is to give you a proper rumble of the bike and let you really listen to what it sounds like. So let's go for it. Let that car get a little bit of distance ahead of us because we'll probably catch it up. I reckon we should go for it.
So I hope the video's helped. Subscribe to the channel, there's more videos coming up. Safe riding, and I'll see you soon.